this is the help movie for Access Chapter 5, the Prepare Case. We're starting at step number 17. So we're looking at ways to enhance your table, and we just finished up where we can do multiple indexes and setting the required and zero length properties. So now we're looking at default value properties, and so we're in the table member in design view, and there's two fields that the overwhelming amount of records match that value. So city would be Santa Fe and state would be New Mexico. So rather than having an individual type that in over and over, we could set the default value. So I'm on city, I'm down here in the property, and I'm going to, and I just zoomed, you don't have to, Santa Fe, right? And then Access is going to put your quotes around it, and then state, the default value would be NM. So if I save that and I come over here, look at my new record. It automatically has that filled in, but I can certainly change it. It's just there so I don't have to waste time typing it in. I would just change, I would just type it in if it was something different than Santa Fe or New Mexico. So we're going to go ahead and put some records in. So I'm going to do new records. Karen Meyer, 72 First Avenue. Oops, spelled avenue wrong. And then I don't have to worry about Santa Fe, New Mexico. So I just hit tab through those. Uh, 2787. And then Harry Shea, 60285 Wildwood Road. But he does not live in Santa Fe, so I'm just going to actually type Snowflake, Arizona, right? So do you see how they're there? But I can change it to whatever it needs to be and move off of the record. So that just saves. So anything that would, be predominantly the data entered, you can make it a default value. All right, so let's look at step number 19. Particularly with foreign keys, the person may not know the value for the data entry, such as member ID number. A lookup data type creates a drop-down list of the ID values and other fields, such as first name and last name, to make selecting easier. So we're going to open up Table Member Lessons in design view. So when we looked at these before, remember, even though we're going to use the Lookup Wizard to change this, understand that the data type doesn't really change. We're going to modify member ID to make it a lookup that will display member ID, last name, and first name from table member. So that's what we need to know. All right, so let's do this. So the field that we're going to do is member ID. I'm going to come over here to data type. I'm going to do the drop down and say Lookup Wizard. The Lookup Wizard, look, it automatically goes back to number as the data type because I'm not really changing the data in it. I'm putting this kind of on top of it. So I want to look up the values from another table. So I'm going to say next. The table that I'm looking it up is member because I'm trying to find the member ID. And people don't know their ID, but they know their name. So if I can find the name, it will return the member ID, and I don't have to go looking for it. So we're going to do table member, and then what fields of the member table contain the value you want included in your lookup. So we want member ID, we want last name, and then we want first name. So those are the 3 fields that are going to open. And we have to have member ID because that's the thing that's in the both tables. So we're going to do next. And then we're going to sort by last name and then by first name. Next, we want to hide the key column. Let me just show you. So the key column is that member ID, but we don't really care what their ID is. We just want to find their name and pick the right one, right? So we're going to just hide that, which is fairly common. And then next, enable data integrity, and we're going to keep restrict delete there. Finish. Yes. So now let's come over here and okay, what did I do? Okay, sorry, I got confused on what we put the so look, if we go to member ID, there's the names. So I can pick the name and it will put the appropriate. So let's go back here. When there are multiple fields in the drop-down list, column headings will indicate which fields are which. However, headings are not listed by default. The column heads property must be set to yes to get the column heading to appear. Modify the lookup field so that column headings are visible. Okay, so what we want to do here is down in the properties, we've only looked at this general, but now that I have this set as a lookup, look if I pick the tab that says lookup, here's what the wizard did for me, right? This is what the wizard did for me. It set up all these column widths, and look at the default. Column heads is set to no. I'm going to double click that and make it yes. And then I'm going to go back to general, flip over, save it, click, and then look, last name, first name is listed. I'm going to go back to design. Okay, so save it and close it. So we're done with 20. I'm going to go on to 21. Open the table position table. Table position. And then modify the position type to make it a lookup field that will display the following values. Okay, so in this case, we're not pulling it from another table, but rather we're typing it in because there's only 2 choices. I start the same way. I come over here and I say Lookup Wizard. The minute I get the wizard, it switches me back to short text because really what I'm using is the wizard to create these parameters down here in this lookup tab. I want to type the values in because last time I pulled it from another table. This time I'm just going to type it. So the first one is going to be full time. Then I'm going to use my down arrow key and go part-time, right? Go down because we want to get rid of that pencil. Next, limit to list, and we don't want to allow. So limit to list says, hey, they can only select full-time or part-time. There's no other option. That's what limit to list does. Finish. So look at what we created. We created that with the wizard. A lot easier than doing that. So I'm going to save this, switch to data sheet, and then enter the following information into position type. So over here, assistant, let's see, caddy master, click here, full-time, golf caddy, part-time, golf, and I don't even have to click down. I could just do a P or an F. Golf course manager's full-time, down arrow, golf technician full-time, down arrow, head golf down. So F, part-time would be a P because it's part-time. Pro shop is part-time, so P. Pro shop is F. And so that's that. And the first one doesn't have, the assistant golf professional doesn't have a position type. Okay, so we're going to close the position table and we're good. So we used the lookup for two different things, whether we looked it up from a table or we looked it up from text we type in. All right, so I'm going to end the movie here, and I'm going to start the next movie at step 23. Thank you.